On 1912 Radio, The Pulse, ladies and gentlemen. So, as I had mentioned earlier on, we are going to discuss Mohamed Salah and his prospects of really winning football's biggest individual prize. Could he be on his way to great things? Could he be on his way to surpassing the likes of Samuel Eto'o and other legendary players? I know Josi has a very soft spot for Samuel Eto'o, so let's start with you, Josi. Do you think he's on his way to winning a Ballon d'Or, or do you think the chances of someone else probably winning a World Cup, which is highly likely, or which is highly unlikely that Egypt would win the World Cup? Do you think the prospects of someone else winning the World Cup would block him from becoming a Ballon d'Or winner?
Look, let me just tackle this whole thing of Mo Salah. And I think today it's going to feel like I'm a hater of Real Madrid, Liverpool, and maybe even Mo Salah. Look, I'm not going to take away what he's done for Liverpool, right? He's got so many goals this season. He's clearly up there in terms of his goals with the likes of Ronaldo, Messi. So it is clear why people are now having that affinity to say this guy can win the Ballon d'Or, right? But for me, even in England, I wouldn't crown him as the best English-based, not English-based, but the best player in the English Premier League right now. I've always maintained that the best player in the Premier League is Kevin De Bruyne, as he was the best player on the best team that won the league.
I forgot. The guy that wins the trophies is the best player, right?
It
right?
helps.
Yeah,
it helps.
Yeah, it does.
It
Okay.
helps. It helps a lot. But look, man, you're right when you're saying, for me, it's a bit premature because at the moment, Liverpool, they might look like everything is going fine for them in terms of their top four spot. Right now, they are in one of those top four places. They are in the Champions League final. But they've been going through a run where they've been losing and drawing. And then it's quite possible that they might even fall off from the top five and then finally even losing the final of the Champions League. So if those are your storylines as the best player in the world, I don't think it adds up in terms of you wanting to dethrone the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. And as to your point, this season is a unique season whereby players have a second bite in terms of showing themselves and putting their names forward in terms of that Ballon d'Or with the World Cup approaching. So obviously the team that does well also in the World Cup will most likely have one of a player that will be key to them, pushing them to the final and actually winning it, and possibly winning the Ballon d'Or.
Josi, I just want to maybe I heard you wrong, but you're saying the fact that Liverpool could finish fifth domestically is going to have a negative impact as to whether he should be considered the best player in the world.
Look,
what if Messi scored 50 goals, Barcelona finished fifth, and Barcelona won the Champions League? Does that still not mean that he is the best player in the world?
You said if he wins the Champions League also. I mentioned two things. If he falls off the top four, right, in terms
out of the
his
top
team,
four, yes,
right?
yes.
And then they are still going to face Real Madrid in the final, which isn't an easy final by any stretch of the imagination. So if he loses that one, automatically then you start to question what did those goals really
actually do? Okay, all right. Lindani, your views?
Yeah, I wouldn't actually be bold enough to say Mo Salah, if he goes on to win the Champions League, then he's in with a shout of being crowned FIFA Ballon d'Or winner. I mean, we look at the season yet. I mean, we can't actually deny the fact that he's had a great season with Liverpool, has been a point of reference for Liverpool throughout the course of the season, scoring goals for them in every way possible, where you can think a player can score a goal in that particular way. He's been very great. But to think of him being crowned FIFA Ballon d'Or winner, I think it's a bit too early. Especially given the history of the winners of this particular accolade. I actually don't see him going that far to be crowned FIFA Ballon d'Or, even though he's had a great season, but I don't think he can actually emerge.
Okay. All right. Tsepo, I want to bring you in on this one, right? So we've seen players coming into the Premier League, you know, coming in with a bang, having an amazing first season, and somehow in the second season, you know, the second season syndrome actually hits them. Defenders sort of, especially with the attacking players, defenders sort of figure out how that person plays, and all of a sudden his impact isn't as great as it was in the first season, right? We've seen that happen. So now reports suggest that Liverpool are trying to negotiate a new contract with Mohamed Salah, and for someone who's been, you know, blowing up the headlines the world over, is only being offered 150,000, right? 150,000 pounds a week, right? Do you think Liverpool are making a mistake, or do you think that they are putting everything into perspective and they're considering the fact that, look, this is the first season, he's come in with a flourish, it might not be the same in the second season? Do you think they're being irresponsible, or do you think they're just being reasonable? What do you think?
I think, you know what, I think the efforts might just prove null and void at the end, because the man is ambitious. The man, if an offer from Real Madrid comes, it'll be very hard for him to say no, you know.
Do you think Liverpool would sell? They're in such strong position. It's the man's first season. Do you think they would even entertain the thought of selling him?
You don't want to find yourself as a team with the situation that Leicester City have currently found themselves with Riyad Mahrez, you know. Ever since Riyad Mahrez had a sterling season for Leicester, and offers came through knocking left, right, and centre, it's disturbed his game. You know, he's no longer the same.
Not as consistent.
Yeah, it's not the same guy that won the PFA 2 seasons ago. So, if you were going to take cognizance of that, you'd rather sell a player who's been, you know, smothered and approached left, right, and centre with offers. You
What
know,
do you think is that?
the 150 offer per week is an insult compared to what
That's what I thought.
compared to what the Real Madrids of this world are going to offer
Exactly, that's what I
him. You know,
Gents, just to sorry, Tsepo, just to cut you off there. Sorry, but I'm just laughing as when has 150,000 pounds been an insult?
No. Listen, you need to look at his market value. The
Yeah.
value of his contribution.
Look, I want-
Players that score the type of goals
Yeah.
in the type of games, and the amount of goals that he's scoring. Those type of players. How much are those
Look,
players being?
I'm looking
I'm
looking at Eden Hazard who's earning 250. I'm like, does it deserve that?
Eden Hazard is Eden Hazard has
Okay,
been,
I want this that one.
Eden
That
Hazard
one-
has been consistently world class for
What?
about
When?
3-4 seasons.
What?
World class.
No,
He's
Aye.
world class.
Which 3 or 4 seasons?
Eden
Where we were
Hazard-
top goal
Eden Hazard is an
scorer for
amazing
Chelsea,
season.
get a penalty.
The thing, let me tell you something. He's a winger. He doesn't have to be the highest goal
What
scorer.
is
Wow,
Mo
it's
Salah?
Mo
What
Salah.
is Mo
Mo Salah.
Salah?
Huh?
What is Mo
Mo
Salah?
Salah.
Yeah. Mo Salah. Listen. There are times when wingers.
We compare apples with
No.
apples here.
Listen, my man. Right? There are times where wingers will score goals, and in
Yeah.
Mo Salah's case, Ronaldo's case, that's a bonus. That's a
Okay.
bonus. But
Can I ask you
and
something?
what you need to understand about Hazard's
Can I-
game, you need to have a forensic view on a player's
Can I ask you
contribution
something?
to his team.
Can I ask you
Right?
something?
It's not just about how many goals did he score. He's not scoring goals. He's not world class. What else does he do? How
Okay.
else does he impact the team?
When
How
has
many
he-
goals does
okay.
David Silva score? How many goals does David Silva score per
let's
season?
minus
But
the
we still
goals,
call
right?
David Silva.
Let's
Okay, no,
minus
let's
the
minus
goals.
the goals.
When has he led?
By example.
Yeah, in
Like,
terms
by
of
example,
his
Mourinho's last season.
Assists.
Mourinho's last season, he was their best player.
No, I'm talking about
By
stat-
fluke. There's
You
supposed
like
to be Alexis
statistics,
Sanchez.
right?
Wait,
You like
it's-
statistics,
wait,
right?
is it-
When has
do you
he
have
led?
the stats in front of you?
When has he led in terms
No,
of
you
his
pull up. Let's
assists?
if
or
you're gonna
anything?
wanna if you're going to wanna
No,
have a
there's no-
statistical argument,
no
then pull up
season.
some stats. Pull up some
No.
stats. Let's discuss that. But I don't have stats in front of me. You don't have stats in.
No, I can
in
look
front
them
of
up for you.
Okay, then do
Yeah,
it. Then do
yeah.
it because he's consistently been one of Chelsea's top performers. I don't understand what your problem is. Is it that
You
Arsenal?
know what, you
Is
know
it that
what?
Arsenal bias,
It's-
or
it's
no,
are
it's
you
not.
being objective?
It's not.
No,
It's
guys.
not.
No.
Wait,
guys.
No,
when
no.
Eden Hazard
I-
won the player of the year
Mm.
in
Okay,
England,
daily mistake.
Yeah.
it
Ha.
was. It was supposed to go to Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the only
Oh,
reason.
there we go.
I think
Ladies
the-
and gentlemen, there
more
we go.
goals
These,
this year.
No, no,
these
he
are
had
two
more
Arsenal
assists.
fans.
Yeah.
These are two Arsenal fans. Surprise,
You know,
surprise.
who covered the ground more than Eden Hazard could ever do. To tell you the truth, I think the only reason why I didn't go to Colo Colo is that it was his first season in England. We're going to just give it to this Puerto Rico or whatever it is, you know, the British have a conservative mentality. And they're like, no way.
The king into one.
We're not just going to give this guy, you know, who can't even pronounce
So you're saying it was-
hello in English.
So you're saying it was prejudice? That's
It
why
was
you didn't win.
prejudice. Racial had
It
to.
was prejudice to give it to a Belgian instead of a
No.
a Chilean.
A Belgian,
Chilean, sorry.
a Belgian with a more refined English accents
Are
than
you-
than
What a ridiculous argument! Oh, my word.
Colo Colo, you know.
So you're basically saying they are using
No, and it was fitting at the time to award him, to award Eden Hazard the award because he had won the league with Chelsea.
Okay.
You know, so it's that thing again. You like,
Yeah.
okay, if Chelsea are the champions, who was their best player? Turns out, Kadi penalties there.
Oh, so you saying you're saying they give it to the people that they give it to the
He
best
contributed.
Player. They give it to the best player of the team that won the league. Is that what you're saying?
Who was
Is that what you're saying?
who?
Because if that's your argument, that De Bruyne would have won it this year, but he didn't.
He had a strong contention to win it.
Yes.
He had a strong
and
contention
I'm
to
sure
win.
Sanchez
That's
was
why I
also in
always say he
contention.
was
This
supposed to win
season,
it.
no
I'm saying,
ways.
no, not this season. I'm saying that season when Eden Hazard won it. He was also in contention, but he just didn't win.
But look at this instance. It went to a player who didn't win the league.
You know, who
Didn't
who
win the
won the
league.
league that season?
Who won the league?
Because it sure wasn't Arsenal. We know that.
No. It wasn't. It went to Chelsea. That's
Yeah.
my argument, that it didn't go to him because one, he was new in the league. Two, the club didn't win anything. So why must it go to him? You know?
But Liverpool's Mohamed Salah just won it this season, so you see. Anyway.
And it's not Mo Salah's, it's not Mo Salah's first time in the EPL.
Oh, no, it's not, yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's just pay some bills. This is Football Conversations on 1912 Radio. When we come back from the break, we are discussing the big one, the one that we've all been waiting for. We are going to be discussing the future prospects of the one and only Andy Lejai.